Hello, and welcome to the Monday, June 12th regular Select Board meeting. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America,
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Well, welcome, everybody. I think just in light of making sure that if anybody else is coming for open forum, why don't we do some action items until we hit 6:30, and then we'll go from there.
All right, Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the minutes of the May 8th, 2023 Board of Selectmen's meeting.
Second, any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the minutes of the May 23rd, 2023 Board of Selectmen's meeting.
Second, any discussion?
No.
All in favor? Aye.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve but not release the minutes of the May 23rd, 2023 Board of Selectmen's executive session meeting.
Second, any discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the minutes of the June 5th, 2023 Board of Selectmen's meeting.
Second, any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the request of Katie Kavanaugh to use unpaid vacation time from June 26th to June 27th for 1,750 hours, .50 hours.
Second, any discussion?
No.
All in favor? Aye.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve to appoint Kathy Toig to Assistant Treasurer Collector position.
Second, any discussion?
Just like, this is a position that we had many years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. We created a separate position for Assistant Treasurer and Assistant Collector. Talking with the new Treasurer Collector, she would like to go back to the old system of having one person in both positions. And I have no problem approving this. The only thing I would like to make a statement that I would like to have a new job description put together, adding, deleting, so on and so forth, on what this position will now be as opposed to what it may have been prior to when we had both positions available.
Yep, makes sense. Charlie?
I agree. The only other point is that Megan had asked that she start Carrie at step 5 of the statutory assistant non-union wage grid.
Yep.
I have no problem.
Yep, no, based on her years that she's already worked here, and I think it's important that we support Megan in her new role as treasurer collector and give her the staff that she needs for the office to be successful. Any more discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Are we passing over 7?
I don't know, we're passing over
Are we
something.
passing over 7?
For right now, yeah.
Okay.
I assume John was coming on this.
Okay, so we'll go back to that if that happens.
Okay, one
I
more.
mean, and honestly, I know that he had made the materials available and everything.
Yep.
I've not had a chance to go back over that. I'm still working on last Tuesday's emails, so.
Right. Is that a time sensitive? Is that a July 1st?
We would aim for July 1st,
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Again, I believe, based on a few things, we'll be back here before, June.
Right,
30th.
I know the police chief wanted to meet with you, and I think I had emailed the two of you about possibly meeting next week.
He
either
said
on
after
Tuesday or
July
Wednesday.
3rd would be better for him.
Oh, okay. Like I said, I'm only caught up
We
to
have to
Tuesday.
get together, you're leaving when, next Wednesday?
Thursday.
Thursday, so we'll probably have to call a meeting for the Board of Selectmen,
Okay.
the Select Board
We can talk.
at some time.
I might
Well,
have to
it hasn't-
participate
It hasn't been
remotely.
approved by the state legislature or the AG's office.
Technically, we're still the Board of Selectmen.
Whatever
Take
the
your
hell
pick.
we are, we're gonna get together.
That's
for
what
some
people-
We're up here.
conversation.
That's what people say.
All right, do one more.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the First Amendment to the Republic Services Contract for Solid Waste and Recyclable Materials Collection Transportation.
Second,
Charlie?
discussion?
No, obviously, no one likes paying the prices that we're having to pay, but we've also, to balance things off in terms of the additional costs that Republic's going to be charging us, the board had previously, this spring, approved the new fee system for fiscal '24. So, it's certainly recommended by John, and I agree with him.
Okay,
And it's been reviewed by council also, so.
okay. Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. So we'll come back to action item 9, and we will go to open forum. So I know you guys are here for open forum, and are you also here for open forum? All right, why don't we work from right to left? If you want to come up and tell us what we can do for you tonight. If you just tell us your name and address.
Thanks for having me. My name's James Doleful, 254 Central Street. I am here representing the new EBBA, East Bridgewater Business Association. I want to say thank you for your time in a few minutes. I just want to let you know that, again, we are revitalizing the association. The goal is, again, to give awareness to the patrons of this town about all the businesses that are East Bridgewater. We're not opening it up to any outside towns. It's really East Bridgewater. The goal is to really get everybody aware through monthly meetings, which we're going to have, through events, as well as try to give back to the businesses themselves through membership. And by doing that, as each monthly meeting will be offering time as what I would call think tank, where the collective experiences of the businesses can help other businesses grow and learn, either through experience, through trial and error, etc. So we are right now in the process of updating the website. We've updated the application. We've been trying to make sure through social media that people are aware about the EBBA, as well as the typical knocking on doors as well. So we're hoping that we'll see one of you at, if not the first meeting, at least any of the future meetings. So,
What,
I
go
I
ahead.
talked to Mr. Stoffel last week about this. It's fantastic. I've been working with Shannon Kilmore over at the South Shore Bank since she arrived over there about trying to do something. And she kept it going. I believe it was October 17th. We're going to bring back the EBBA symposium over at the...
Is it, I think it's
The expo?
the 7th, the first I think that's the first Saturday.
Right.
And we were looking the first, I think the 23rd of September, but
Right.
that was taken. So we figured we'd piggyback off of Bridgewater has usually the last Saturday, their business expo. So we figure if we piggyback off of that, instead of doing it the same weekend, we don't,
Right.
who knows who shows up to either one. So we figured that first Saturday. So that's what our goal is. I'm hoping that we'll have a good turnout and good membership. I've already chatted with people from different businesses, such as Forney Brothers, Bluestone Bank, Happy Frog, Cindy Carey's salon, stuff like that. And everyone is very receptive. Remember, some applications have already been received. So we're hoping that by the time the 7th comes around, we'll have a fantastic turnout for that. So
That's great. And where and when are your monthly meetings?
glad you asked that. I could have rehearsed that. So we're going to be, unlike in the past, again, because we want to give back to the membership, we are going to have monthly meetings. They're going to be held at Sachem Rock Farm. And what we're going to do, hopefully, is work with the town and try to basically pay for that up front. So that's a nice one, helps the town out with monies, but also gives a secure meeting place for all the members. And again, we'll be having those meetings from 6 to 8. And again, it'll be more or less officer information, committee information, event information, and then the last half hour or so, if not 45 minutes, we'll be giving back to the members with a question and answer and entrepreneurial type information. So,
Great.
yeah.
Good, looking forward to it. It's always been a great contribution to the town and support for the business community, so I'm really glad that it's coming back to life.
Yeah, we thank you very much for the
And I
enthusiasm that
being
we're
there
seeing.
at your first meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you.
We were always members before, so I assume we'll continue that
Yes.
as the board. Great.
Fantastic. Great.
Okay.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you,
coming in.
James.
We have a guest out here.
I know we do. Does our special guest want to come in? Sure, we interrupt this open forum for a very special guest.
Oh, just another
It's also
person,
part of open forum.
another person who wants to be here.
Hey, Morgan!
Letha, if you want to explain Morgan to us again. Morgan.
Hey, pretty girl.
My little one dropped.
Oh, it is.
And this is
Hi.
Canine Morgan. So Canine Morgan's been working for about a month and a half. She's a community resource dog. Currently, she goes to school every day. The kids love her. They've completely forgotten my name, but every
They know
single kid
Morgan.
knows exactly who Morgan is. We're getting baseball cards made up, so I'll have those for September, and the kids are super
Oh, good
excited. She's doing a great job.
Waiting.
She is, she knows.
She-
Yeah.
Morgan was at the,
Yeah.
get together up at the commercial club, and I mean, no one cared about anyone else.
No.
The only thing anyone cared about was Morgan in Talitha.
Nobody cared about me,
And-
just
and-
Morgan.
and
Well, they knew
rightly
someone
so.
was taking the dog. You know.
That's right, that's all that matters.
Thank you for bringing Morgan in.
Yeah, thank you so much. We love Morgan.
I love her too. She's doing a great job, so I'm sure if you have kids in the school, just ask them, they'll all tell you. If she's not with me for some reason, she might be resting in my car, the kids are always like, where's Morgan, where is she?
Now, what events have you brought Morgan to so far?
So we've been to the bicentennial event, we also went to the South Shore Tech School with the team of dogs. They had a tragedy that happened, so we brought in a group of dogs for the students, so she's been to that. She went to a nursing home. Oh, that's not very nice. And right now, we're just getting used to the school, and she leads her way through there. She knows where she wants to go when she gets in.
Great. And we're already getting positive feedback from
Oh,
people that have had
absolutely.
interactions,
Oh,
things that
great.
have come through
Yeah.
the police department to us about, you know, how great it's been for some of the children and some of the residents, so.
Some of the
It's
adults.
definitely, absolutely. I have a soft spot for yellow labs, as you know, so.
Yes, yes.
That's awesome.
She's a good girl. So
Thank you.
Happy to have her.
Thank you very much, Letha, appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Morgan's welcome at our meetings anytime.
Yeah, if you want to go out to dinner, we'll keep
Yeah,
quiet.
Sounds good.
I mean, you know, Mr. Spagone isn't here tonight. Maybe Morgan would like to have a
Yes.
seat up front.
Never mind, lucky, no, don't.
Thanks for
do
coming
that.
in.
Thank you.
Okay, open forum, where were we? Do you want to let them, okay. Sprowls, you're up. Oh, Stingle Sproul, you're not coming to the table, okay.
Good afternoon, ladies and
Tell us
gentlemen.
your name and why you're here.
My name's Russell Sproul from 36 Sherwood Circle, East Bridgewater. So I came in today to clean up the streets. So I do a lot of walking across East Bridgewater, surrounding towns. And I can't pay any of you people not to trip over nips on the side of the road. Now, what can we do as a town to clean up the mess?
Okay. I know one of the areas of concern was the miniature bottles, right?
Yes.
And that was, and I, you know where I live on Central
I know.
Street, and we see it too.
Now, I see them, it doesn't matter what street, they're everywhere.
Oh, I can back that statement up. I walked the 5K Saturday at the Bicentennial Road Race.
Yes,
And I counted from the time I left Amber Drive till I came back to Amber Drive, over 40 of the little nip bottles on the
yes,
side of the
I mean,
road.
once you start counting, you know, you run out of,
But
it
Right.
goes on.
Right.
it- So we're talking about that tonight.
Yes.
To see
Yep.
what we can do, but we have an action item coming up on that.
And that is?
We're gonna discuss, we have a couple of different ways we can do it, but we'll bring that up when we get to the
Okay.
action item.
I
which will
think
be
the
very
idea
shortly.
being, that because the legislature has talked about this on a state level.
Yes.
So part of the idea would be for us to encourage and support them in making a bottle bill include the miniature bottles as well, since
Be it-
that,
Yeah, be
know.
if they have to, pay a tariff
A
type
de-
of a deal.
deposit.
Deposit when they
I
buy
mean,
these things.
Like
this
on a
may
deposit
start
would
to
help. I mean, it'll be steps in the right
It's a
direction.
beginning, but
right.
we might go further than that, too.
That's
You know,
good.
There are towns that are eliminating them.
I
don't
know
if we're
there
ready
are,
to do
I know.
that, but
I mean,
we'll
Wareham
discuss
is,
that later.
Falmouth is.
And we'll talk about that. Charlie, do you want to add anything at this
No,
point?
Let's
if
wait until
we
we get to
have
the
it on the
14th.
agenda,
Yeah,
we can.
we appreciate that you brought it to our attention, and it's not, it's something that I think we've all noticed. I see people out there nodding their heads. Any of us that live on a main road
I
in
mean, yeah,
particular see this.
that's the only reason I came in today.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Next.
Okay. Now you guys?
Well, anyone who was here before us.
Nope, I don't think there's anybody else here for open forum.
All right. Hi.
Hi.
My name is Paula Betts. I live at 575 Pond Street. And I'm here today because we approached the town maybe 4 or 5 years ago about putting a guardrail in front of our property due to a large number of pretty serious accidents that happen. And for some reason or another, the guardrail did not go up. The town did put up a a sign that has like corner ahead, something like that, has not been effective. So this past Saturday evening, we had another major accident where a person came flying up the road, hit the utility pole, the same utility pole that's been hit at least 4 times. Hit the utility pole, went across our driveway through a ginormous rhododendron bush, across the driveway, went airborne into our yard, took out a 30-foot pear tree with landscaping and landscape lighting all around it, and continued to drive across our yard and landed in the woods. And even when the police got there, they were like, oh, that's a new record. They've never made it this far before. So they constantly end up in our yard, which thankfully, somehow, no one's been killed yet or seriously injured, but had this accident happened 6 days before, we were having a graduation party in that same field where the car went through. So it would have been very different circumstances. And my daughter just graduated high school, and we've been addressing this since she was in elementary school, because I remember protesting her bus stop because they wanted her walking up the street, and I was like, no way, because this corner is terrible. So it's just been going on forever, and I would like to re-request the guardrail
Okay,
at this point.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you have something?
But, yeah, it was back in 2018 that we had this conversation at that time about the guardrail, and I'm not exactly sure what happened with that. What I'd like to do is put this on our agenda for our next meeting so we can get the parties that were involved back in 2018, get the write-ups, get the conversation, and find out what happened. We don't have an answer tonight, but let's get it on a future agenda. We'll go from there.
So what you'd like to have is have John Haynes here.
John Haynes.
I know
Right, to
that,
talk about what we can do.
And also the police
you know, Mike
department.
Jenkins, you know, and he had sent the list, you know, as mentioned, it was just this past week, we had the accident. We've had accidents in the area, but also, you know, several at that location, not just the one in 17 and the one that just recently.
Right,
Okay.
I mean, you know, it may be that, in terms of both John and Mike, and maybe even if the board goes out there, because we're going to be dealing with people walking on the street, we're going to be dealing with property lines and shoulders, and where's an appropriate place that would both protect their property, but also allow people to, you know, walk safely along the street. And
Right.
work out, if there is a way to work out a place that can do both.
Okay. All right, we'll put that on the
yeah, thank you.
next meeting.
I'm glad no
Okay,
one was hurt.
thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
So we're talking, which meeting would be talking about, July 9th, or are we talking if we have an
July
interim meeting?
Yeah, July 9th, and then there's another intersection that John Haynes has, and so it'd be good with him and
Okay,
Mike here that
sure.
we can talk about that one as well up by Capiccioni.
Okay.
So we can
We
put
go to
that
a
on
monthly
for the same
meeting
night
starting with June, so
in the summer.
the next regular meeting
But-
is July
July
9th, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
all right.
Thank you.
Or 10th, I think. It's 2 days.
Yeah, the 10th, it's the 10th.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else here for open forum? Our legislator, Senator Brady is here,
And we also.
and Catherine is here. Okay. Do you guys want to come up?
Yeah, public hearing too.
Yep. All right, if we started a couple minutes late, right?
That's it. Yeah. well, at least I'll
Just
leave it
get
on
started.
the
All right, welcome both of you here. Thank you very much for coming in. I know the main interest for the board tonight was the status of the town's special legislation for withdrawal from civil service. The town had filed, with your help, the legislation last year. It didn't get out of committee. It's been refiled again. Thank you for your help in doing that. And I think the board is very interested in what steps need to be taken in order for this legislation to be passed, and what the board and other town officials could be doing to assist you in having this happen. We know that there are, I think, 17 or 18 other communities that also have filed similar legislation, so it seems to be a little bit of a tie-up of some sort, traffic jam. I'm not sure if we're in part of that whole group in the sense of that everybody's being treated as one large mass, or we're going to get treated individually. But we've had our unions approve this, we've had the town meeting approve this, we've had the police chief approve this, the board of selectmen. So East Bridgewater is all in on having this happen. So we have a very, strong interest in working with you all to ensure its passage.
Thank you, and I appreciate you having us here tonight, and you were exactly right. East Bridgewater, probably out of all the communities, there is roughly 18 communities that are looking to get out of civil service in regards to these issues. And East Bridgewater probably did one of the best municipal reports out of any community, so thank you for that, because there was a report required on this legislation as well. I'll give you, if I may, just a little timeline on everything, and it reads, it's House docket, and I want to thank Rep. Sullivan for filing this as well. An act exempting all uniform positions in the police department of the town of East Bridgewater from the civil service law. So a little timeline, the bill was filed during the week ending March 25th of this year. On March 27th, the House of Representatives referred to the committee to the House rules. On May 18th of this year, the House reported the rules suspended and referred the committee to the Public Service Committee. On May 22nd, the Senate concurred. And then on May 23rd, the bill was now given a bill number, which is I'm sorry, I don't got my glasses with me, 3871, and has been officially referred to the Joint Committee on Public Service, which consists of several members of the House of Representatives and the Senate members. And the bill will be scheduled for a public hearing. So we're just waiting to schedule, and you are right, they generally concur with bills of similar situations. They are usually read in the same hearing date on a particular subject. So we're looking to do that. And just a little other information. Last year, when everything was going through the process, there was, separate of the Public Service Committee, there was a special commission that was put in place to deal with civil service, because it hasn't been updated in quite some time. We did have several meetings on that. At the end of the year, that was disbanded. So now with the new administration, the new governor, we are waiting to have the Civil Service Commission members appointed back to that committee. This deals with everything with civil service, not just these pieces of legislation. But we're looking to get that moving. That commission has not fully been formed yet from the governor and whoever else administrators put that on, but we're waiting for that. But we are looking to get this moving as soon as possible. I know that, I've talked to the chief in East Bridgewater a while back. I know the colleagues in the House have as well, and talked to some of our town officials as well to get this moving. So we're hoping to get this expedited as soon as possible, but we are also waiting for the Civil Service Commission to be reformed again with whoever the governor and the administrators appoint, so.
Is there something that we can do as a town to push the governor to hop on this?
Yeah, I would say writing or any correspondence to the governor's office, and I can get you other departments who may be appointed, like if it's an attorney general or some other people who are in the state administration. And also, when the date comes up, and I know you have sent correspondence to our offices as well, but when the date comes up, any support and letters of support, emails, if you can't make it to the hearings, of course, you're always welcome to their public hearings. On the subcommittee hearings, because since COVID, we're kind of getting back to somewhat normalcy, they are still doing subcommittee meetings virtually as well in person. So especially with people that are in other parts of the far ends of the Commonwealth, it doesn't make sense for them to deal with traffic driving 2 hours into the State House to testify for 5 or 10 minutes and then have to drive all the way back because it wastes someone's whole day. So we are keeping these subcommittee meetings both virtually or in person. So if you can't make it in person, we can do it virtually.
Okay.
Any idea what time frame we're talking, Senator?
No, I reached out to the, my co-chair in the House, and he may have a difference of opinions on these things because of waiting for the Civil Service Commission to come up with different findings and so forth, but I've been reaching out to him to get this moving as soon as possible, to get it back heard on the docket.
Okay.
And as soon as that takes place, I'm happy to get the information to your offices.
Maybe a confusion point on my part. We are not the first 18 cities and towns to request to get out of civil service. If this process has been going along for years, why all of a sudden is there a hang-up on just getting these processed again?
It's all based on when the police reform bill was passed, they've required a civil service commission to be formed, and it deals with anything to do with civil service, so that's never been done before, and the civil service law hasn't been updated in many, many years, so
Right.
that's why all this came to fruition. And we all know that some of our laws are antiquated, so I'm looking to move this, whether the Civil Service Commission itself, which is separate of the Public Service Committee, but we have members of the Public Service Committee on that commission, we have police chiefs on that commission, we have union members of that commission. Whether that, because some, as we know, we've heard the horror stories in the past, some commissions never even meet.
Right.
At least on this, the commissions have met. But either way, I'm looking to get this expedited as soon as possible. And when last year, I didn't support my House chair, I have all the respect for that person, but he wanted to send all these civil service waivers to a study because he felt the Civil Service Commission did not get completed. I know how much these communities, like East Bridgewater and several other communities, need more police officers, and it's tough for hiring everything else. So I wanted to move it expeditiously as soon as possible.
Are you finding opposition out there, or is everything just being delayed because of the switch?
No, there is obviously, like any bill, there's both sides to the coin, and there is some opposition, but my feeling is if it's a wish of the community that I represent, I want to move it expeditiously as
Right.
possible, you know?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Because, you know, the people of, you represent East Bridgewater, the people of the town support it, as was mentioned, the union supports it, and I support it moving forward, so.
Great.
I don't
Riley,
wanna
can you
take away all the
draft
time, too,
those
from-
letters
Oh, no, you're good, you're
for
good.
us? Get those sent in.
So I actually just brought in, just like last year, like how we went through the steps, I know Charlie is, you know, you had to write a letter, I brought the same letter, the only thing that needs to be changed from it, every point that you had is really just the bill number and the date, and I noted that on here for you.
Great.
And they'll accept, the public service will accept that upon, you know, they'll accept it at any time, but really there'll be a release date for written testimony or, in-person testimony. And when that bill hits the public service docket, and there's a hearing for it, that letter can be sent, and obviously your testimony can be. And then, in terms of where it's at, it's just gonna unfortunately remain in public service, and I think, you know, Senator Brady has done a good job of explaining what
Until
the
that
holdup
commission
is.
is
Yeah.
reappointed.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
So, I'm just a little confused, so there's this special civil service commission, does that commission need to meet and make a recommendation to the Public Service Commission in order for any action to be taken on this?
The reason that it was formed, for obvious reasons, to have an input on any legislation like this, but that being said, as we know, sometimes government doesn't move as swiftly as we want it to be all the time, and
Where's Peter?
so I obviously am supporting the town I represent and want to get it moving as soon as possible. A good thing that you brought up of what else you can do, I can give you the list of the committee members on this committee, because usually the Senate chair, the senators support the wishes of the Senate chair, and the House chair, with all due respect, the House members support the House chair. All of my senators agreed with us to not send it to a study on the Senate side. I think, if you'd like, I can get to the names of the people on the House side.
Yes.
I think any correspondence with them. I
Okay.
know Rep. Sullivan has been great with it, but I think that would help to get to the importance of this too, to move it swiftly, you know?
Yeah, well, let's do that. Okay.
Right. Maybe throw in the names of the other 17 towns that are involved on it.
Yeah, that'd be fine as
Yeah.
well. And every town may have similar situations, but there's also some differences. But I will tell you, every town and community had to file a report, their reason for getting out of civil service. And I want to thank the town of East Bridgewater, because you were probably one of the most efficient towns dealing with us and getting the information to us. So thank you for that.
Okay,
Good.
appreciate the update.
Can
Any-
we also get a update on the earmarks there? I know that some have gone forward, but we were hoping that the library one and the Humboldt County Outreach would also
Yeah,
get support, and I think those are stuck right now.
well,
right?
it's
You
in,
said
it's in
Humboldt
what's
County
called the
had moved
Conference
forward.
Committee, and there's differences from the House and the Senate. So, and there's always differences every year, but usually, hopefully we'll get it done soon. We got it until the end of July. Very rarely, the whole bill, a budget, has not been done till the end of July. Special occasions, we'd had to file a bill to extend, or file legislation to extend it a month to keep government operating, of course. Usually, if there's earmarks in the House side, you don't want to waste and file the same thing on the Senate side. I did file it for the library, but it was already in the House side, so the chairman said we don't need to do it. Usually, if the House of Representatives, we have Rep. Sullivan and Rep. Jerry Cassidy now. So usually, if it's in the House side, you don't want to duplicate in the Senate side and vice versa. I can't predict the future, but I'm confident that whatever earmarks we'll put in there, whether it be in the House side or the Senate side, because I got different funding in the Senate side, like for the meals and so forth at the Council on Aging. So I think that both, based on our financial picture, again, we did have one downturn month, I think it was in April, but revenue was moving in the right direction now again. And this is all based on last year's figures, and when they have experts in the Revenue Commission and all that, that can have a good handle on where we stand financially. So I'm confident that both earmarks that were on the House side and separate ones on the Senate side will be moving forward. Those are the easy parts. The tough part is like, for instance, I'll give you just an example, the estate tax. The governor had a proposal to lift the cap to $3 million. We know we have to agree to lift it because we got elderly people that are leaving their estate to their heirs or whatever, and they don't want to get hit with that estate tax. And, you know, even properties in less fortunate communities that are not even, and not to say East Bridgewater is a wealthy community, but less fortunate communities that are not as in the same financial status as East Bridgewater, there's houses going for $1 million in these other communities, Brockton, for an example. So I think the House version and the Senate version were both at $2 million, so that's something they agreed on prior. But there could be other legislation, and I can't think of all of the things, but we did some, like HTIP about housing development, and to get some money for that. The House version did not get. Then the House version had different other tax things that were in a tax bill that there's differences in that. So based on, you know, I sit on the Ways and Means Committee. I'm not on the committee to deal with the Conference Committee, but I'm confident that based on past experiences that we'll get this done shortly. And I think the earmarks that were in there, whether it was Rep. Sullivan or Rep. Cassidy or myself, I think that they'll be put forth. They usually give us a rough estimate on what we're allowed to put in there and what we can afford to do, the bottom line.
Thank you. Catherine, did you want to add?
So I actually printed out House budget earmarks, and I have here the conference committee who's on it. Usually it ends up being the chair, the vice chair of Ways and Means, and then the ranking minority. So this year I think it's Michaelwitz, Ferranti, and Smol on the House side, and then the Senate side, correct me if I'm wrong, Rodriguez, Friedman, and O'Connor.
Yes, correct.
So they're on their conference committee, and I want to let you know that on the House side of things, Rep. Cassidy's office and our office have been working on sending a letter to the House side of the conference committee to request library funding. I know that Jess has also reached out to our office. And as of this moment right now, I know that Rep. Cassidy is reviewing the letter for us to send upon the conference committee to ask for more funding. I did print out all the stuff that were passed in the House budget, along with some monetary numbers for education as well. So I will give that to you guys at the end.
Great,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Oh, good.
I mean,
Sharon?
I know that, I believe both sides had approved the grab-and-go meals for the Council on Aging, which was great. The maintenance and repairs at the library is sort of a split situation. I think the House had passed, because we had asked for, I think there were two items. One was specifically was $40,000 for waterproofing and sealing at the library, another $25,000 for more general maintenance. Those did not make it in the Senate version.
Yeah.
And then we were also looking for the $20,000 for the digital radio pagers for the fire department. And the Senate one, it said withdrawn, which I'm not quite sure what happened with that, but.
I think it's still the 21,000 shall be expended for digital radio pagers in
Isn't it House?
Bridgewater. Yeah,
Great.
yep,
Okay,
those
so
were passed in the House budget.
You know, obviously, as the board has said, we're eager to hope that your work will ensure that all these items appear on the conference committee's version of the budget. Because I know our department heads are eagerly awaiting the hope of being able to undertake these projects.
Yes. As soon as those, you know, there's this list, right, that comes out when we have the consolidated amendments release. We're control F-ing East Bridgewater. What did we get? What's the
Right.
funding? You know, we're sitting there waiting for, see how much. And we may ask for, you know, 50, 60,000 and we get, you know, 21, but at least it's still funding, right?
Right.
So our goal at this point is just like when all the other earmarks for it have come out, when the conference committee releases their version of the budget, then we're gonna take the control F in East Bridgewater and see what we got. All right.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. We appreciate the work you're doing for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I look forward to congratulations. I know we've had a few celebratory events for the 200th anniversary. I wasn't able to stick around at the East Bridgewater Commercial Club for the bonfire. I hope everything
Bonfire
went-
was something else.
I heard our other select board member put the top of the thing up there, so.
There was a bicentennial sign at the top. It
That was put on Friday before.
Yes, yes, you were mentioning that, so,
was a great day.
thank you.
All
All
right,
right.
thank you, folks.
Thank you for
Appreciate
coming
it.
in, we
Thank you.
appreciate you.
Keep up the good work.
And again, anytime you need to reach, you all know me and you know how to get ahold of me and.
We know how to get
Yeah,
them.
exactly, so. And I did hear that
Speed dial.
the other, the fireworks are moved off till Friday.
Friday.
Yes, we're-
We don't want to talk about it.
we took a chance on weather.
We-
But we'll see you on Wednesday
We will still be here for Wednesday.
Wednesday
for
is
the-
Yes.
still the,
Yeah.
for the time capsule.
opening the
Yes.
time capsule,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, thank you very
Concert
much.
fireworks on Friday. Do your sun dance.
We can bring something to add to the one we bury in December for 25 years from now.
Thank you.
And I did have notes with head scratch on the board members, but you won't be able to read my handwriting, but I'll get that to you.
Okay.
No worries, I think,
All right,
I think
appreciate
I
it.
got the notes here for you guys as well, so.
Great. All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, we have a public hearing. One more.
Okay, public hearing will be held, let's see, pursuant to Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation.
Nope,
Nope,
This
wrong
one.
one.
Yep.
6:45. Notice is hereby given that pursuant to the requirements of Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 138, a public hearing will be held relative to the application for a new license, restaurant on premises, annual all alcoholic beverage, CLSK Inc., doing business as Deng's Garden, Yaping Lee, manager, premises 225 Bedford Street. A public hearing will be held at the Town Hall, first floor conference room, 175 Central Street, East Bridgewater, on Monday, May 12, 2023, at 6:45, which we are
Which is
now
now
going to
7.
start that at 2 minutes after 7.
You here for, you want to come up and just? Thank you, and thanks for your patience. I know we're running a little behind.
Yeah, I just new license for the all alcoholic beverage license. So
Right.
I want to let a restaurant inquest.
The request for the light, yep.
Yes.
And we have all the paperwork and everything, I think, is
Good order. Yeah.
in perfect order. Do you have any questions?
The people that will be serving the liquor, have they all been certified through the state to serve liquor?
Yes.
They have, okay, just making sure. Now,
And you're the manager,
Yes.
right? Okay.
prior to taking over Deng's, were you, the other businesses you were involved, did you have liquor licenses at that point?
Yes.
You have, okay. So you're not new at this game? Okay, good. No, I'm good, Madam Chair.
Okay. And is anybody here to, else to here to speak on the public hearing? Okay, then I will close the public hearing.
Yes,
Okay, and now we vote?
yes.
Yes, I will take a motion.
I'll take a motion to authorize the application for a new licensed restaurant on premises for CLSK Inc., doing business as Deggan's Garden, Yaping Lee, manager at 225 Bedford Street.
And I will second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
That will be effective on the hours of regular operation, I
Yes.
assume. Okay. Oh, I'm all set.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go.
Thank you.
You're all set. Good luck.
Good
Just
luck.
one question.
Sure.
How long take a certificate?
It will.
For the new license.
It will be up to the Alcohol Beverage Control Commission. So all the paperwork, the office will send up to Boston, needs to be reviewed by the Alcohol Beverage Control Commission. We don't, there's no deadline for them. You know, it may take a couple weeks, it may take a month.
Okay.
We don't control that part.
Okay. Thank you.
Good luck. I hope it
Good
goes
luck.
well for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I believe we
Action
left
item
off
number
at
9.
number 9.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve mutual aid agreement between the towns of East Bridgewater and West Bridgewater. They agree that for the period of July 1, 2023 to June 30th, 2026, each town's building commissioner, inspector of buildings, local inspector, building inspector, electrical inspector, and plumbing and gas inspector will at no expense to the other town service the town's respective inspector with such services coordinated by the inspectors.
A lot of inspectors. Second. Any discussion?
No, this is, we've been doing this mutual agreement aid for many, many years
Yep.
now. And it works out, they cover what we're not there, and so on and so forth. It's worked out very well. We appreciate West Bridgewater continuing to join with us.
All right, all in favor?
Aye. Madam Chair, I make a motion to sign order of acceptance for the following streets, which were approved and voted on by a town meeting. Broad Meadow Drive, Philcrest Drive, Johnson Farm Lane, Kenilworth Drive, Lorraine Drive, Melissa Circle, River Road, Rolling Hills Drive, Fieldcrest Landing, Meadowbrook Drive, Burr Lane, and Jacqueline's Place.
Second. This has been a long time coming.
Certainly has.
Been talking about this for what, 2.5 years, I
We've been
think?
talking about this for about 10 years.
Well, that too. All right, well, thank you to everybody that got us to this point. And any further discussion?
Nope, I'm good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the request of BE semicolon
I think it's just B.
B of 626 Bedford Street for a one-day alcohol license for a sip and shop event on June 15th, 2023.
Second.
The only
Any
thing I'm
discussion?
not seeing here is what hours we're talking about. I didn't see that in the application. Maybe I missed it.
5 PM to 8 PM.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm all set.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the event permit for Chuck Haran of the Kiwanis Club of East Bridgewater for the use of the town common to display American flags for 2 weeks to recognize and honor veterans. Field of Flags from November 4, 2023 to November 18, 2023.
Second. Any discussion?
This is just a fantastic, I think we're in our 10th or 11th year of that Field of Flags, and it's just an incredible scene for that 2-week period. I just make sure everyone drives by and takes some pictures. It's a beautiful thing.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I make a motion, I guess, to review rental requirements by the center at Sachem Rock.
Second.
I think this came up in one of the rental coordinators' request for one of the functions, and I think because we had an interim police chief involved in this, the big question was, when do they require a detail, when do they not require a detail? To my knowledge, we haven't had a police detail down there since prior pandemic, and I think the recommendation is we leave this up to the police chief at the time the request is coming in, and unless he sees a problem, then we just continue the way we're going now.
Right, and that's the recommendation also from
Right.
town council. And the only thing that John had mentioned was that it might be helpful for Mike to talk with the center staff to go over when he might feel that detail is needed, so that at least there's some idea ahead of time, okay, this is probably not going to, this is probably, and if there's a question, if he needs more information, whatever,
Yeah,
we'll know who he's talking with and be able
Yeah,
to work
we
that
can
out.
talk to the coordinator on that. A lot of times when they fill out the application, they're gonna say it's a 21st birthday party. We may wanna consider something then, but again, they just go down, but yeah, we'll have a meeting with the coordinator and the staff downstairs.
Does the chief see those applications
Yes.
Yes.
as a matter of
He has to
course
sign
anyway?
off on
Okay,
them,
all right
yeah.
then. So, yeah, that's just what to look for then. Okay.
Okay. Madam Chair, we are going to discuss a little bit that we already did, a bylaw banning the sales of miniature bottles.
Okay.
And it's miniature bottles of alcohol we're talking about.
Oh,
Yes,
no.
not miniature bottles of water. You can do
Yes.
whatever you want with those.
Well, don't throw them on the side of the road.
Right. So, obviously, discuss this a little bit. And there's really, I think, people going around this two ways. One is that they're urging the state to do some type of change in the laws for bottle deposits to include miniature bottles of alcohol as part of the bottle bill. There have been variations of the bottle bill been filed a number of times during the last few years that would include this. There have been other questions, the normal liter water bottles, sports drink bottles, none of those were in the original bottle bill back in 1980. So I think, there are bills to expand it. In general, I did not find anything at the state level that would ban them. However, there are communities in Massachusetts that have passed their own bylaws banning the sale. That doesn't mean that you can't imbibe. You could bring them over the border and you're perfectly allowed to then make use of them and one hopes dispose of them properly. But all the town can do is, if it wanted to, pass a bylaw to ban them. It's subject to a town meeting vote. I know some towns have passed it, some towns have not. I know Halifax, a few years ago, there was an attempt to ban them. It was voted down fairly overwhelmingly. I think it depends on the mood of the townspeople, especially those who show up at town meeting. But the board could could follow the path of, let's contact our legislative delegation, ask them to support the various bills that would expand the bottle bill to include deposits for miniature bottles. It doesn't solve the problem of the bottles obviously being thrown out, though, because I don't think the people who are doing so right now are going to take any notice of the deposit, in the sense of they'll pay whatever the price is for a miniature bottle of alcohol, and they'll dispose of it the way they have been. I think what it does is it gives an
Provides incentive for other people to
people
pick them up.
Yes.
Yep.
So you would hope to reduce the amount of litter. It doesn't prevent it from happening in the first place.
I can feel you,
Well-
you're over here like.
Like I said, fortunately, I was walking alone, so I had nothing else to do but look at the ground last Saturday, and I said I counted 42 of them, I think.
So,
But there's nothing that says that we cannot ask our state and Senate legislatures, representatives, and, to introduce a bill.
Is there an active bill right now?
oh yeah, there's
Is
several.
the one to totally ban them?
No, there's nothing
See,
right
that's
now
what
that
I'm
would.
saying.
Okay.
I would be in total support of banning them, based on what I see. And yes, people can bring them over here, but it's certainly gonna cut down on what we're seeing now.
I mean, a ban for the state would certainly cut down.
Yes.
If we ban them as a town, I mean, you got West Bridgewater, how,
But it doesn't hurt us to try.
no, I have a feeling we would get much the same results as Halifax,
I
but
don't know. Well, maybe we
Well,
can,
and there's
maybe we
nothing,
can bring to town meeting for the vote,
Pictures.
a couple of barrels full of the ones I picked up in that week.
and there's nothing, whether it's the board of selectmen or it's a group of residents, there's nothing preventing
Right.
a group of residents, for instance, submitting a citizen's petition for
Petition.
the next town meeting
Yep.
to place it on the warrant, and then it'll be up to a debate and up to the townspeople to make that decision.
that's true. And
you know,
if you get the right people in the seats at town meeting,
Right.
things can go in a way, especially if you get people who live on main roads.
I said, it's just,
You know.
it's a disgrace to see them. And some of the roads that I, have walked before, my area is not a main road by any, it's a mile around, and I could see 10 of them there. I mean, that's where they go down these side streets to throw them around. And that's what happens. 'Cause they don't care because there's no reason not to. So I think we should contact our state reps and our
Yep.
state senators and ask them to introduce bills to ban them. That may not go neither, but it's worth, at least we're gonna try to do something. And again, I think we should be prepared to go to a town meeting. The worst we can do is let the people speak.
Yep, I have no
So we'll
opposition to
work
that,
on-
and I,
Work on both of them.
Would you like me also to, if we're gonna be sending a letter about proposed new legislation, but also either a similar letter and same letter, include your support, even if there's no state ban, that they be included in whatever bottle bill?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Why not all of it? I mean, so,
Okay.
we'll try.
I'll bring the,
I mean, if you want, I'll bring in all trash bags.
I can
Oh.
join you.
I know, yeah. Yeah, we pick them up too, so.
I mean, I have conversations. One day I stopped at the liquor store down by Oak State. Joe, what else I purchased? A Powerball ticket, Mega Millions ticket. And the lady goes, yeah, we have contractors 9 o'clock in the morning. You know, they're buying sleeves. And she wouldn't say, you know, who they were. I didn't care they asked that. And she said, you know what? She would not recommend any of those people for anything. Because, you know, if you're a contractor, you don't need alcohol to go to work.
One would hope.
One would hope.
Educate Mr. Sproul, what's a sleeve?
I don't know, but
It's-
I guess it's like, let's just say it's like
It's
a
a
12
bunch of them
pack.
in a,
Oh,
It's when you buy a
one
sleeve
package?
Yeah.
pack.
Oh, okay.
So the people driving just hawking those out the window as you're, you know, you
well,
say.
because you don't want to have it in your car, right?
You don't want to have them in your car, but you throw the evidence out the window.
Okay.
And it's not like we can even put like trash cans around
What do you got?
Again,
town, because, and I know John Haynes is out there watching me right now, he's saying, and then we have to empty them.
Yeah, well, and I understand John's point perfectly. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm very much of the, you know, take it, you know, anything you bring in, you gotta take out.
Right, yeah, okay. Well, we will work on that, and we will
Thank you.
keep you apprised of what
Yeah.
we're doing.
Keep watching us, we'll be talking about
Yeah.
it. We need some people to watch us.
Yeah, I do, and that'll be when?
It's ratings week.
July 10th?
10th, yes, or
Or
17th, 17th, sorry.
17th.
At what time?
We-
6:30,
Okay,
and I would imagine.
thank you, ladies and
July-
gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
17th.
17th.
Appreciate your
He's saying
concern.
vacation.
Well, that might be one of the reasons.
That might be. No, I think it was already on there. Okay, back to you, Mr. Sheedy.
Okay, I would like to, at this time, pass over action 15 until we have a full board here. And I realize that we do have a time-sensitive date here, but I'd like to set up a meeting before you head out on vacation to talk about this as a full board.
That's fine.
You okay with that, Jeff?
Yes, I'm fine.
Fine, yeah, sure.
Okay.
If we take no action on that, what happens?
My reading of.
No action is,
Is a no.
Okay,
Since
so-
I think it's, what they said is, 2/3 of the towns must say yes. It didn't say, you know,
What
a
happened?
yes, certainly if you don't do anything, that's not a yes vote.
Right, okay.
and do we know what other towns have?
There had been some
It up
discussion
yet?
several weeks ago with my colleagues. I can check in. In fact, we have a
That'd be
meeting.
helpful.
We have a meeting also Thursday, informal get-together.
Any boards that have
We're
already
going to, I think it's
voted yes or
postponed.
no,
I'll
I'd be
check.
curious.
Let me check, see what's happened so far.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to accept the resignation of Sean Riley from the Historical Commission effective June 12th, 2023.
Second? Any discussion?
No, just thank Sean for his.
Thank you, Sean. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to accept the resignation of Orson Kingsley from the Arts Council effective June 12th, 2023.
Second, any discussion?
Nope.
Thank you to Orson Kingsley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to appoint Joshua Sampson as a member of the Historical Commission effective June 12th, 2023 through June 30th, 2026.
Second? Any discussion? I believe he met with the Historic Commission and they were in favor of this appointment.
Welcome aboard.
Yep, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Action number 19. Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the following board committee member reappointments as printed.
Second. Any discussion?
Thank you all for coming back.
Very much so. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You also then have additional 4 appointments that Rebecca provided you and 1 additional resignation.
Yes, I have that. Yeah. Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the following board committee member reappointments. Jerry Levitt to the Board of Appeals, effective from July 1, 2023 to June 30, 2026. James Ross, Board of Appeals, alternate, effective July 1, 2023 to June 30, 2026. Eric Desiak to the East Bridgewater Arts Council, effective July 1, 2023 to June 30, 2026. David Walsh to the Finance Committee, effective July 1, 2023 to June 30, 2026.
Second. Any discussion? Thank you all.
Thank you
All in
for coming
favor?
back.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to accept the resignation of the following board committee member, Joan Smith, to the Council on Aging, effective, is that July 12th? Or
That'd
is
be
that-
June
should be
12th?
June 12th.
It's what Rebecca wrote.
Okay,
Can only go with what she wrote.
Okay.
we'll go effective July 12th, 2023. With regrets, Joan has been a great member of that Council on Aging committee, and we wish her success in her future.
Yes. Second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
That it?
Yes.
Okay. Announcements. Lee, any announcements?
No, we just have, 5 more reappointments that we're waiting for. That's it.
Okay.
It's fine.
Great, thank you. Charlie, Town
Um,
administrator report?
Just one brief item, the Central School, Elementary School project, it's moving forward step by step. The school department sent in a list of members for the building committee. You're one of them.
Oh,
Don't know if anybody bothered to give you a call?
no, but
No,
great.
okay.
Welcome aboard.
So the members are John Shea, Carol Julius, myself, Lauren Foster from the school committee, Superintendent of Schools Liz Galt, Brian Keeley and John Haynes, Catherine Byrne, who's the school principal for Central School, Gina Williams as the assistant superintendent, Melanie Dean as town accountant, and then David Horton and Donald McDougall, who both have construction, building, construction maintenance, not maintenance, building, the actual building, experience.
Okay,
So, those are, there's nothing for the board to do, that the school committees and the school department have handled that. But I wanted the board to know that the deadline was met, they did get it out to the building authority by Friday, June 2nd. We received an acknowledgement, so it's moving as it should be.
okay, great.
And
That's
That's all
it?
I've got right now.
Wow, how about that?
You
All
must
right,
have-
board
He
discussions.
must have been on vacation.
Board discussions.
No, I'm not quite sure, it was a
I
vacation.
know,
He wasn't here.
I wasn't here, that's true.
Mr. Vice Chair, you have an important bicentennial update. I feel like we would have like, dee, 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 this just in.
Yes, very good.
I'll get to that, I have other announcements.
Oh, I gave you I set you up with the
Now,
perfect
you're gonna-
segue.
You're gonna have to do that again, though.
I'm not doing it. It'll never be as good.
All right, we'll lead into that. On Wednesday, the 14th, which is 2 days from now, we are going to have the opening of the time capsule and a few other things here. We're gonna have a lot of the pictures, older pictures from the town around. At the entranceway, we're going to have a setup where you'll be able to see all the bicentennial events that we've had so far this year. It's already running out there. Ryan and Russell and staff over at EBCAM did a terrific job on that. The other thing that we were going to be doing on Wednesday was a concert by that infamous group, Dale and the Duds. and-
Never heard of them.
And fireworks at approximately 9 o'clock. Talking with a lot of people this morning and early this afternoon, based on what we think the weather conditions may be on Wednesday, we've decided with the agreement of the fireworks company up in Maine that we're gonna change that to Friday. We will have the concert at 6 o'clock, and they'll get over at dusk around 8:30 or so, and they will be followed around 9 o'clock by the fireworks company. The fireworks company needs to know all this stuff well ahead of time, because they leave Maine at 6 o'clock in the morning, get here around 10 to 11, and it takes them all day to set up this situation for these fireworks. So we've agreed on that. Could it have been a wrong decision? I guess we won't know that until Wednesday, but the time capsule will be out here in front of Town Hall. The weather shouldn't be an issue there. But getting back to last Saturday, which was a fantastic day for East Bridgewater. We started off with a race that was managed by the South Shore Race Management Company. When we first started conversation with them, they said, "You are new at this, it's a first time, only time deal. You might get 75 stretching it out 100 people. Through the work of a lot of people, Nancy Hill was
Especially.
involved with these people forever. We had 206 people actually registered for this event. Charlie was running along there. I think he passed me when I was walking.
Twice?
No,
At least once,
he started ahead of me,
about a half hour.
but I got my.
Hey, I wasn't even there for this part.
I had my
so-
best 5K since the beginning of the pandemic, so I was really happy. But
That's awesome.
But Nancy did yeoman's work on this. I mean, she's part of the Colonial Roadrunners group. That's the area roadrunners, and I think they must have had 40 or 50 people in
Yes.
that group.
That's awesome.
Right, it was just
Yeah, there's actually a
incredible.
great picture of the group on the Bicentennial Facebook page.
Right.
That's really
And
good.
again, I just can't say enough about everyone involved, and it worked perfectly. And then the rest of the day, all the events that they had at the Commercial Club, and I'll forget some of them, but Peter Spagone and Aaron Danielson, I think is president of the Commercial Club now, they had over 100 volunteers
Yep.
that have been working on this day since I started nagging them probably back in January. And nothing could have gone any better, except for a couple of
Except for that
rainstorms,
rainstorm
but
in the middle of the
whatever.
afternoon. We could've
By
done
then,
without
people,
that.
if they got wet, they really didn't care anyhow. But the police did a terrific job out there, the fire department did a terrific job up there. Again, all the people they had trying to park people. Lucini had buses running from 47 Brand all afternoon, which was a great thing because there was absolutely no parking out there after a while. But for the effort that the Commercial Club and everyone else put into it, cannot thank them enough. The craft show was tremendous. Everyone there said it was one of the better ones they had, and again, that is something that we hadn't done before, have a craft show in the middle of the summer.
Right.
At the beginning of the summer. They sold out on how many tables they could put in there, so.
And I think
Um,
proceeds from that are going to the Christmas,
The Christmas
Parade
Parade
Committee,
Committee,
so-
yes.
I think they
Um,
got some good support.
And the Bicentennial Committee was there with all the different shirts and hats and candles. The East Bridgewater Police Department was there selling bicentennial patches, what they're using for the fallen soldiers group. So I just can't thank enough on how great that day went and the hours and hours and hours that were put together to make that a fantastic day. It's proud to be part of East Bridgewater. That's it, Madam Chair.
That was great. I couldn't agree more. The Commercial Club was a great day. Lots of fun, lots of people, and.
Lots of people.
And a great bonfire at the end. I think that was my first ever official, as Charlie called it, Burning Man bonfire, and that was very cool.
And that, again, you have to see that thing, get on Facebook
Yeah.
or the Bicentennial website.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how many hours it was to put that thing up there. And they built it up and then they added this huge chimney on top of it. It was
Yep. And
incredible.
EBCAM was there all day
EBCAM was
filming,
there.
so if you weren't able to attend, you can go and watch it and see the bonfire and see all the people. I think they got just about everybody there that was anybody to say happy birthday East Bridgewater, which is really cool, and, we're grateful for that, and for everyone at the Commercial Club who worked so hard to open up the club grounds to the town.
There are two other events for June 14th. The library that day, they're going,
That's
the
right,
first
they're on
day,
display.
they're going to have paintings and pictures or whatever else that people have painted, drawn, whatever, in commemoration of the 200th anniversary of the town.
Yeah, they're little, like 3x3s.
So that'll be the opening day for that. And then also at the Council on Aging, there's going to be a music group called the Company Bees, which I believe are singing songs from World War II era, such. So, you don't have to wait till 4:30 for the time capsule. There are the other activities happening here in East Bridgewater that day.
They're also burying a time capsule down at the
That's right.
community center at 10 o'clock in the
To open
morning.
in 50 years.
And that's being opened 50 years from now. And all
We
the-
probably won't be here for that.
I know I won't.
I probably won't either.
But what they did there, they had the seniors around town put something together in there. Then they had seniors in high school put things in there with the idea that 50 years from now, they'll be in their mid-60s type of a deal, late 60s, and they'll still be around somewhere to have someone open it. And right after that, right after the Company Bees, the community garden is going to have an open house down there afterwards too, from like 2 to 4 o'clock. And they'll be giving out, I think, garden gloves and I think some kinds of seeds too. But get down there and watch what they've done over there. I think they've been together 5 or 6 years now, and they just do a tremendous job. And most of the stuff that they grow, they give to the food pantries.
They do,
And they're doing, again, a tremendous job there. So, again, one other thing that will be happening on the 17th of June, which is next Saturday, we're having a softball tournament right behind the central school. We have 4 teams playing. We have one from the Bluestone Bank, and we have another unnamed team, which is probably a bunch of ringers. And then we have the fire department is putting out a team, and the police department is putting out a very organized team, so we're gonna have to be watching them very closely. It's not probably as good as the college World Series softball tournaments that were going on last week, but it's there to have a lot of fun. It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we'll run until how many hamstrings we count at that point of the
Yeah.
hold.
Cool.
So thank you, everyone that's
Thank
been
you.
around for all this year so far. We have many things going on for the second half of the season, which we'll keep you updated on.
That's
I'm
right.
done.
This is a big week, but there's still stuff going on all through the rest of the year. There's a concert, the Brockton Symphony concert in the fall, and there's gonna be a talk about people of color and their contributions in East Bridgewater history. So there's plenty more to come, so don't think this is the end. The only thing I wanted to bring up was relative to town meeting, and I'm doing this now to hold myself accountable because I made a promise, and I talked to EBCAM about this. I talked to Russ and Ann and Zach, because it's come to my attention through things I see on social media and people who have talked to me after town meeting that people don't always understand what's happening, and they feel either embarrassed or unsure about how to ask a question and how to get information. So I had this idea that we would do sort of a TV show, and we're gonna call it Town Meeting 101. And we'll go through the process of how things, get on the warrant, like when is all this stuff talked about? None of it is hidden, it's all in public meetings, but here's how you find out, like these are the types of things Finance Committee talks about, these are the types of things that the Select Board talk about, these are the things that Planning Board talks about. Capital plan, all of that. We'll have, a segment with Charlie where he'll talk about, how the warrant is put together and when that gets published and how you can find it and all of those things. And we'll talk about, being a registered voter and making sure that you meet those. But just to give people that level of comfort so that they know when they come into town meeting, they know that they've gotten the warrant in advance, they've read through things, they've asked questions if they have them, and they're prepared in a way that makes it so that they can participate fully and feel comfortable participating. Because I don't like the idea of anybody leaving town meeting and feeling like things happened that they didn't understand. So maybe nobody will watch it. Maybe it'll just be me and my fan club. But it also gives us a tool when questions come
both
up.
of you?
All of us, me
Yeah.
and my father-in-law. But it gives us a tool for all of us to then say when someone has a question, hey, there's a thing you can watch on cable, and if you go 15 minutes in, we talk about what the role of Finance Committee is, or whatever. And, Dan Pica will participate, and I'm hoping that Bob Looney will as well.
Right.
And
Good idea.
I think it would be a good tool going forward. So, that's all I got.
With that, I will
Anything else?
make a motion to adjourn, Madam Chair.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night, everybody, and
We'll see you.
we'll see you on Wednesday and Friday and Saturday, all week long.